Namo Namah Om Ah-Om. Welcome everybody, and welcome to this public ordination ceremony, the public ordination ceremony of Alex, Clive, Chris, Mike and Michael. And my name's Satyaraja, and this is Padmaloka, and we'll be conducting the ceremony. And this is the first streamed ordination ceremony that I've taken part in. And it's also the first ordination ceremony I've taken part in where everybody's wearing masks, except for ourselves. And it's a very, very auspicious occasion. And it's also a full moon night tonight. And from a Buddhist point of view, a full moon is regarded as very auspicious. So it's very auspicious that these 5 men are having their public ordination ceremony today. And a special welcome to friends and family of the men getting ordained, or if you've come to a public ordination ceremony for the first time. So we're here for this public ordination ceremony to witness Alex, Clive, Chris, Mike and Michael formally and ritually committing themselves to the Buddhist path, and in so doing culminating a process which has been going on for a number of years. It's a process that's been gathering momentum in their lives over many years. So this is a very significant day for all of them. And I know Bhante Sanrakshita, our teacher, has said that the ordination is the crux of the spiritual life. So it's a very, very significant day today for those 5 men. And we've all been here on retreat with them for the last 6 days. And last Monday night, Alex, Clive, Chris, Mike and Michael left the shrine room and followed the light path to the ordination kuti, where they met individually with their private preceptors, who witnessed them making an individual commitment to the Buddhist path. And the symbolism of that ceremony is that they were prepared to go it alone. So if they were the only person in the world committing themselves to the Buddhist path, they'd still take that step as individuals. And for them as Buddhists, it's the only way that they can make sense and meaning of this wonderful life that we have, this wonderful human existence with all its ups and downs, its joys and sorrows and its mystery. But today we're celebrating the public ordination, and the private and the public ordinations are 2 parts of the same ceremony. And today they're here again to make that commitment, but publicly, and to take their stand in the world as Buddhists. And they also recognise that they're not alone, that others share their values and ideals, and that they're joining a vibrant Buddhist order, the Triratna Buddhist Order, a spiritual community of men and women committed to the Buddhist path. And we all have our part to play. A number of us are here to witness them taking that step, and there are people all over the world watching or aware of what's going on. So a few brief words about what it means to commit yourself to the Buddhist path and the step that Alex, Clive, Chris, Mike and Michael are taking. So tradition speaks of going for refuge, orienting your whole life towards the three jewels, the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, the Buddha the teacher, the Dharma the teachings, and the Sangha the spiritual community. It's an active step. It's a very active life, the spiritual life. And these three refuges, for a Buddhist, they're the most valuable thing. So they're principles that you can live your life by. And they're principles that are true at all times and all places in this transient world that we live in. So first of all, the Buddha. The Buddha was a human being. He was an enlightened human being. Through his own efforts, he realized the depths of reality, and he exemplified wisdom, compassion and creativity. And that potential is there in all of us, the potential to become a Buddhist. And that's what a Buddhist commits his life to realizing. The Dharma is the teaching of the Buddha. It emerges from the Buddha's enlightenment experience, and it's all those teachings and practices which lead us from our ordinary state all the way up to enlightenment. It's what makes possible the transformation that is the Buddhist life. And just a word about the path. The path isn't something that you tread externally. You are the path. So as you practice the Buddhist path, you change and you come to embody that path more and more. The Sangha is the spiritual community of all those who have trodden the path and reached that goal. And in the wider sense, the Sangha is the community of all those treading the Buddhist path. And going for refuge to the Sangha means committing oneself to creating spiritual community, Sangha, a positive context of friendship, clarity and encouragement, in which people can meet and practice the Dharma and follow it in fellowship and harmony. And the three jewels represent the deepest values for a Buddhist, which we make an effort to put at the centre of our lives and to embody more and more. Values that we live by, regardless of lifestyle or nationality or gender or sexual orientation. We're not a monastic order. The Triratna Buddhist Order is made up of people of all nationalities and living in all sorts of different lifestyles. So some of us live in communities, like here at Padmaloka. Others live on their own, or with their partners, or with their families. But we're all connected by our going for refuge to the three jewels, by our commitment to put the three jewels at the centre of our lives. And we're committed to living that in harmony with one another. So before the ordination ceremony, we're going to do a Sevenfold Puja, a Buddhist devotional practice, and we just go straight through the 7 stages of the puja, and we chant the refuges and precepts in unison. And there'll be a reading after the 6th section, the entreaty and supplication, the Buddha Vagga, from the Dhammapada, and that will be led by Padmaloka. And this really just sets the mood, it sets the context for the ordination ceremony to take place within. The Sevenfold Puja. Worship. With mandava, blue lotus and jasmine.
With onyx and jasmine,
with all flowers pleasing and fragrant,
with all flowers pleasing and fragrant,
and with garlands skillfully woven.
and with garlands skillfully woven.
I pay honour to the princes of the sages,
I pay honour to the princes of the sages,
so worthy of veneration.
so worthy of veneration.
I envelop them in clouds of incense,
I envelop them in clouds of incense,
sweet and penetrating.
sweet and penetrating.
I make them offerings of food, hard and soft,
I make them offerings of food, hard and soft,
and pleasing kinds of liquids to drink.
and pleasing kinds of liquids to drink.
I offer them lamps encrusted with jewels,
I offer them lamps encrusted with jewels,
festooned with golden lotus,
festooned with golden lotus,
on the paving sprinkled with perfume.
on the paving sprinkled with perfume.
I scatter handfuls of beautiful flowers.
I scatter handfuls of beautiful flowers.
Salutation. As many atoms as there are,
As many atoms as there are,
in the 1,000 million worlds,
in the 1,000 million worlds,
so many times I make reverent salutation
so many times I make reverent salutation
to all the Buddhas of the three eras,
to all the Buddhas of the three eras,
to the Siddharma,
to the Siddharma,
and to the excellent community.
and to the excellent community.
I pay homage to all the shrines
I pay homage to all the shrines
and places in which the Bodhisattvas have been.
and places in which the Bodhisattvas have been.
I make profound obeisance to the teachers
I make profound obeisance to the teachers
and those to whom respectful salutation is due.
and those to whom respectful salutation is due.
Going for refuge. This very day,
This very day,
I go for my refuge
I go for my refuge
to the powerful protectors,
to the powerful protectors,
whose purpose is to guard the universe,
whose purpose is to guard the universe,
the mighty conquerors who overcome suffering everywhere.
the mighty conquerors who overcome suffering everywhere.
Wholeheartedly also I take my refuge
Wholeheartedly also I take my refuge
in the Dharma they have ascertained,
in the Dharma they have ascertained,
which is the abode of security against the rounds of rebirth.
which is the abode of security against the rounds of rebirth.
Likewise in the host of bodhisattvas,
Likewise in the host of bodhisattvas,
I take my refuge.
I take my refuge.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Dhammam saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Sangham saranam gacchami, Tatiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami, Tatiyampi Dhammam saranam gacchami, Tatiyampi Sangham saranam gacchami. Anatipata verani sikkhapadam samadhiyami. Adiyadana verani sikkhapadam samadhiyami. Kamesu
Machara, Vermini Sikapram, Samadhyami, Musavada, Vermini Sikapram, Samadhyami, Surameya, Macha, Padmaloka, Vermini Sikapram, Samadhyami, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. With deeds of loving kindness, I purify my body. With open-handed generosity, I purify my body. With stillness, simplicity, and contentment, I purify my body. With truthful communication, I purify my speech. With mindfulness clear and radiant, I purify my mind. Confession of faults. The evil that I have heaped up,
the evil that I have heaped up,
through my ignorance and foolishness,
through my ignorance and foolishness,
evil in the world of everyday experience,
evil in the world of everyday experience,
as well as evil in understanding and intelligence,
as well as evil in understanding and intelligence.
all that I acknowledge to the protectors,
All that I acknowledge to the protectors,
standing before them,
standing before them,
with hands raised in reverence,
with hands raised in reverence,
and terrified of suffering.
and terrified of suffering.
I pay salutations again and again.
I pay salutations again and again.
May the leaders receive this kindly,
May the leaders receive this kindly,
just as it is with its many faults.
just as it is with its many faults.
What is not good, O protectors,
What is not good, O protectors,
I shall not do again.
I shall not do again.
Rejoicing in merit. I rejoice with delight
I rejoice with delight
in the good done by all beings,
in the good done by all beings,
through which they obtain rest,
through which they obtain rest,
with the end of suffering.
with the end of suffering.
May those who have suffered be happy.
May those who have suffered be happy.
I rejoice in the release of beings
I rejoice in the release of beings
from the sufferings of the rounds of existence.
from the sufferings of the rounds of existence.
I rejoice in the nature of the Bodhisattva
I rejoice in the nature of the Bodhisattva
and the Buddha,
and the Buddha,
who are protectors.
who are protectors.
I rejoice in the arising of the will to enlightenment
I rejoice in the arising of the will to enlightenment
and the teaching,
and the teaching,
those oceans that bring happiness to all beings
those oceans that bring happiness to all beings,
and are the abode of welfare of all beings.
and are the abode of welfare of all beings.
Entreaty and supplication. Saluting them with folded hands,
Saluting them with folded hands,
I entreat the Buddhas in all the quarters.
I entreat the Buddhas in all the quarters.
May they make shine the lamp of the Dharma
May they make shine the lamp of the Dharma
for those wandering in the suffering of delusion.
for those wandering in the suffering of delusion.
With hands folded in reverence,
With hands folded in reverence,
I implore the conquerors desiring to enter Nirvana.
I implore the conquerors desiring to enter Nirvana.
May they remain here for endless ages,
May they remain here for endless ages,
so that life in this world does not grow dark.
so that life in this this world does not grow dark.
The Enlightened One. That Enlightened One, whose sphere is endless, whose victory is irreversible, and after whose victory no defilements remain to be conquered. By what track will you lead him astray, the trackless one? That Enlightened One, in whom there is not that ensnaring, entangling craving to lead anywhere in conditioned existence, and whose sphere is endless, by what track will you lead him astray, the trackless one? Those wise ones who are intent on absorption in higher meditative states, and who delight in the calm of renunciation, even the gods love them, those thoroughly enlightened and mindful ones. Difficult is the attainment of the human state. Difficult is the life of mortals. Difficult is the hearing of the real truth. Difficult is the appearance of the enlightened ones. The not doing of anything evil, undertaking to do what is ethically skillful, and complete purification of the mind. This is the ordinance of the enlightened ones. Patient endurance is the best form of penance. Nirvana is the highest, say the enlightened ones. No true goer forth from the household life is he who injures another, nor is he a true ascetic who persecutes others. Not to speak evil, not to injure, to exercise restraint through the observance of the almsman's code of conduct, to be moderate in diet, to live alone, and to occupy oneself with higher mental states. This is the ordinance of the enlightened ones. Not even in a shower of money is satisfaction of desires to be found. Worldly pleasures are of little relish, indeed painful. Thus understanding, the spiritually mature person takes no delight even in heavenly pleasures. The disciple of the fully, perfectly enlightened one takes delight only in the destruction of craving. Many people, out of fear, flee for refuge to sacred hills, woods, groves, trees, and shrines. In reality, this is not a safe refuge. In reality, this is not the best refuge. Fleeing to such a refuge, one is not released from all suffering. He who goes for refuge to the enlightened one, to the truth, and to the spiritual community, and who sees with perfect wisdom the four Aryan truths, namely suffering, the origin of suffering, the passing beyond suffering, and the Aryan Eightfold Way leading to the pacification of suffering. For him this is a safe refuge. For him this is the best refuge. Having gone to such a refuge, one is released from all suffering. Hard to come by is the ideal man. He is not born everywhere. Where such a wise one is born, that family grows happy. Happy is the appearance of the enlightened ones. Happy is the teaching of the real truth. Happy is the unity of the spiritual community. Happy is the spiritual effort of the united. He who reverences those worthy of reverence, whether enlightened ones or their disciples, men who have transcended illusion and passed beyond grief and lamentation. he who reverences those who are of such a nature, who moreover are at peace and without cause for fear, his merit is not to be reckoned as such and such.
The Heart Sutra. The Bodhisattva of compassion, when he meditated deeply, saw the emptiness of all five skandhas, and sundered the bonds that caused him suffering. Here then, form is no other than emptiness, emptiness no other than form. Form is only emptiness, emptiness only form. Feeling, thought and choice, consciousness itself, are the same as this. All things are by nature void. They are not born or destroyed, nor are they stained or pure, nor do they wax or wane. So, in emptiness, no form, no feeling, thought or choice, nor is there consciousness. No eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. No colour, sound, smell, taste, touch, or what the mind takes hold of, nor even act of sensing. No ignorance or end of it, nor all that comes of ignorance. No withering, no death, no end of them. Nor is there pain or cause of pain, or ceasing pain, or noble path to lead from pain. Not even wisdom to attain. Attainment too is emptiness. So know that the Bodhisattva, holding to nothing whatever, but dwelling in Triratna wisdom, is freed of delusive hindrance, rid of the fear bred by it, and reaches clearest nirvana. All Buddhas of past and present, Buddhas of future time, using this Triratna wisdom, come to full and perfect vision. Hear then the great Dharani, the radiant peerless mantra, the Prajna Paramita, whose words allay all pain. Hear and believe its truth. Gate, gate, paragate, parasangate, bodhiswaha. Gate, gate, paragate, parasangate, bodhiswaha. Gate, gate, paragate, parasangate, bodhiswaha. Transference of merit and self-surrender. May the merit gained,
May the merit gained
in my acting thus, go to the alleviation of the suffering of all beings.
Go to the alleviation of the suffering of all beings.
My personality throughout my existences.
My personality throughout my existences.
My possessions.
My possessions.
And my merit in all three ways.
And my merit in all three ways.
I give up without regard to myself.
I give up without regard to myself.
For the benefit of all beings.
For the benefit of all beings.
Just as the earth and other elements.
Just as the earth and other elements.
Are serviceable in many ways.
Are serviceable in many ways.
To the infinite number of beings.
To the infinite number of beings.
Inhabiting limitless space.
Inhabiting limitless space.
So may I become.
so may I become.
That which maintains all beings.
That which maintains all beings.
Situated throughout space.
Situated throughout space.
So long as all have not attained.
So long as all have not attained.
To peace.
To peace.
Okay, so now we come to the ordination ceremony itself. And I'm going to ask each of the men I'm publicly ordaining to come forward one by one in order of natural seniority and make the 3 traditional offerings. And this is the order that we're going to be doing it throughout the ceremony. And then Chris will come forward and take the offerings from Padmaloka. So first of all, Alex. And now Clive. And Mike. and Michael. And over to Padmaloka.
Chris.
And now we come to some verses of purification, and there's a lot of emphasis on purification in the ordination ceremony. There are white cloths on the shrine, white candles, white flowers, and the Buddha says in the scriptures that just as a pure white cloth can immediately take up the dye, a purified mind can immediately take up the teachings. So it's very important that we have this in the ceremony before the core of the ceremony itself. So Padmavajra and I will recite together these verses of purification, and all the men getting ordained will repeat them after us in call and response. Bowing before the Buddha,
Bowing before the Buddha,
I purify my body,
I purify my body,
chanting the sacred mantras.
chanting the sacred mantras.
I purify my speech,
I purify my speech.
silently meditate. Okay, and now comes the request. And these men have been training for ordination for quite a long time, and now they're going to ask formally for ordination. This is also an emphasis in Buddhism that it's the individual that has to ask. So you have to make the request, and they're going to do that. And we'll do it first of all the men that I'll be publicly ordaining, and then then Chris, who's being ordained by Padmaloka. So I'm going to ask the men that I'm publicly ordaining to repeat after me. Ahang Bante,
Aham Bhante,
Tisaranena,
Tisaranena,
Saha,
Saha,
Dhammachari,
Dhammachari,
Samvara,
Samvara,
Silang,
Silang,
Dhammang,
Dhammam,
Yachami,
Yachami,
Anugahang,
Anugaham,
Katva,
Katva,
Silang,
Silang,
Deta,
Deta,
Me Bante.
Bhante,
And that means I wish to take the 3 refugees together with the Dhammachari ordination vows. Kindly give them to me, Bhante. And then I say, Yamaham Vadami Tam Vadeta, which means repeat whatever I say. And you say, Ama Bhante,
Bhante,
yes, Bhante. And what you're going to be repeating are the going for refuge and the taking of the 10 precepts. And this really marks the heart of the ordination ceremony. Going for refuge, commitment to the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. And first of all, we salute the Buddha with the words Namo Tassa, Bhagavato, Arahato, Samma Sambuddhassa, out of gratitude for starting the whole tradition. So I'm going to ask the men ordained by me to repeat after me. Oh, sorry, I forgot you, didn't I?
What?
Did you do your part?
I'll do that later.
Okay, yeah. Namo Tassa,
Namo Tassa,
Bhagavato Arahato,
Bhagavato Arahato,
Samma Sambuddhassa,
Samma Sambuddhassa,
Namo Tassa,
Namo Tassa,
Bhagavato Arahato,
Bhagavato Arahato,
Samma Sambuddhassa,
Samma Sambuddhassa,
Namo Tassa,
Namo Tassa,
Bhagavato Arahato,
Bhagavato Arahato,
Samma Sambuddhassa,
Samma Sambuddhassa,
Buddhang Saranang Gacchami,
Buddhang Saranang Gacchami,
Dhammang Saranang Gacchami,
Dhammang Saranang Gacchami,
Sanghang Saranang Gacchami,
Sanghang Saranang Gacchami,
Dutiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami,
Dutiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami,
Dutiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami,
Dutiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami,
Dutiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami,
Dutiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami,
Tatiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami,
Tatiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami,
Tatiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami,
Tatiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami,
Tatiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami.
Tatiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami.
And now comes a question, and I ask, Tisaranena Gammanang Sampunang, which means, are the refugees complete? Are you really going for refuge? And you say, Ama Bhante,
Bhante.
yes Bhante. And now come the 10 precepts in their negative form, which are the practical everyday working out of the refugees. So you repeat after me, just the men I'm ordaining. Panatipata,
Panatipata,
Veramani Sekapadam Samadhyami Adinadana Veramani Sekapadam Samadhyami Kamesu Michachara Veramani Sekapadam Samadhyami Musavada Veramani Sekapadam Samadhyami Parisavachaya Veramani Sekapadam Samadhyami Sampapalapa Veramani Sekapadam Samadhyami Pisunavachaya Veramani Sekapadam Samadhyami Abhijaya Veramani Sekapadam Samadhyami Vyapada Veramani Sekapadam Samadhyami Michaditya Veramani Sekapadam Samadhyami. And now come the so-called positive precepts, which really represent the real spirit of the precepts, the development of positive qualities. So again, you repeat after me, please. With deeds of loving kindness,
With deeds of loving kindness,
I purify my body.
I purify my body.
With open-handed generosity,
With open-handed generosity,
I purify my body.
I purify my body.
With stillness, simplicity, and contentment,
With stillness, simplicity, and contentment,
I purify my body.
I purify my body.
With truthful communication,
With truthful communication,
I purify my speech.
I purify my speech.
With kindly communication,
With kindly communication,
I purify my speech.
I purify my speech.
With helpful communication,
With helpful communication,
I purify my speech.
I purify my speech.
With harmonious communication,
With harmonious communication,
I purify my speech.
I purify my speech.
Abandoning covetousness for tranquility,
Abandoning covetousness for tranquility,
I purify my mind.
I purify my mind.
Changing hatred into compassion,
Changing hatred into compassion,
I purify my mind.
I purify my mind.
Transforming ignorance into wisdom,
Transforming ignorance into wisdom,
I purify my mind.
I purify my mind.
Okay, I'm now going to exhort the men that I'm publicly ordaining with this verse in Pali, so listen carefully. Tisaranena saha dhammachari samvara silang dhammam sadhukam surakitang katva apamadena sampadeta. And that means having well observed the three refuges and the Dharmachari ordination vows with mindfulness drive on. Apamadena sampadeta, as you know, were the last words of the Buddha, with mindfulness strive. So that's all you need to do, really. You just need to be aware all the time and make effort. And if you do that, if you keep staying aware and you keep making effort, then everything will follow from that. Okay, so over to Padmaloka.
So we're going to do all that again, and Chris, you're on your own. So first of all, the request. Aham bhante,
Aham bhante,
ti saranena, saha,
saha,
dharmachari,
dharmachari,
samvara,
samvara,
silam,
silam,
dhammam,
dhammam,
yachami,
yachami,
anugaham,
anugaham,
katva,
kappa,
silam,
silam,
data,
data,
me bhante.
me bhante,
Bhante, I wish to take the 3 refuges, together with the Dharmachari ordination vows. Kindly give them to me, Bhante. And then I say, Yamaham vadami tam vadeta, which means repeat whatever I say. And you say, Ama Bhante.
Ama bhante,
Yes, Bhante. So now the refuges. Namo tassa,
namo tassa,
bhagavato arahato,
bhagavato arahato,
samma sambuddhassa,
samma sambuddhassa,
namo tassa,
namo tassa,
bhagavato arahato,
bhagavato arahato,
samma sambuddhassa,
samma sambuddhassa,
namo tassa,
namo tassa,
bhagavato arahato,
bhagavato arahato,
samma sambuddhassa,
samma sambuddhassa,
buddhang saranang gacchami,
buddhang saranang gacchami,
dhammang saranang gacchami,
dhammang saranang gacchami,
sanghang saranang gacchami,
sanghang saranang gacchami,
dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami,
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami,
dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami,
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami,
dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami,
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami,
tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami,
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami,
tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami,
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami,
tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
And then the question in Pali, Ti saranagamanam sampunam, which means are the 3 refuges complete? And you say, Ama Bhante,
Ama bhante,
yes Bhante. So now you can take the 10 precepts. Please repeat after me. Panatipata,
Panatipata,
Vedamini,
Verimini,
Sikhapadam,
Sikhapadam,
Samadhiyami,
Samadhiyami,
Adinadana,
Adinadana,
Vedamini,
Verimini,
Sikhapadam,
Sikhapadam,
Samadhiyami,
Samadhiyami,
Kamesu,
Kamesu,
Nichachara,
Nichachara,
Vedamini, Sikkhapadam
Sikkhapadam
Samadhiyami
Samadhiyami
Musavada
Musavada
Vedamini
Verimini
Sikkhapadam
Sikkhapadam
Samadhiyami
Samadhiyami
Parusavachaya
Parusavachaya
Vedamini
Verimini
Sikkhapadam
Sikkhapadam
Samadhiyami
Samadhiyami
Sampapalapa
Sampapalapa
Vedamini
Verimini
Sikkhapadam
Sikkhapadam
Samadhiyami
Samadhiyami
Pisunavachaya
Sunavachaya
Vedamini
Verimini
Sikkhapadam
Sikkhapadam
Samadhiyami
Samadhiyami
Abhijaya
Abhijaya
Vedamini
Verimini
Sikkhapadam
Sikkhapadam
Samadhiyami
Samadhiyami
Vyapada
Ayapada
Vedamini
Verimini
Sikkhapadam
Sikkhapadam
Samadhiyami
Samadhiyami
Micchaditya
Micchaditya
Vedamini
Verimini
Sikkhapadam
Sikkhapadam
Samadhiyami.
Samadhiyami.
And now the positive precepts. With deeds of loving kindness,
With deeds of loving kindness,
I purify my body.
I purify my body.
With open-handed generosity,
With open-handed generosity,
I purify my body.
I purify my body.
With stillness,
With stillness,
simplicity,
simplicity,
and contentment,
and contentment,
I purify my body.
I purify my body.
With truthful communication,
With truthful communication,
I purify my speech.
I purify my speech.
With kindly communication,
With kindly communication,
I purify my speech.
I purify my speech.
With helpful communication,
With helpful communication,
I purify my speech.
I purify my speech.
With harmonious communication,
With harmonious communication,
I purify my speech.
I purify my speech.
Abandoning covetousness for tranquility,
Abandoning covetousness for tranquility,
I purify my mind.
I purify my mind.
Changing hatred into compassion,
Changing hatred into compassion,
I purify my mind.
I purify my mind.
Transforming ignorance into wisdom,
Transforming ignorance into wisdom,
I purify my mind.
I purify my mind.
And now I'm going to exhort you. Ti saranena saha dharmachari samvara silam dhammam sadhukam surakitam katva appamadena sampadeta. Having well observed the three refuges and the dharmachari ordination vows, with mindfulness strive on.
Good. Okay, and now more purification. And I'm going to ask the men I've ordained to come up one by one, and I'm going to sprinkle them from the vase, a few drops on their head, not just yet. And this water in the vase has got all sorts of magical properties, and it purifies you, but it only works if you actually practice the precepts. So I'm going to ask my men to come up first, and then go over to Padmaloka, and Chris will come up. So first of all, Alex, and I have to do the special thing. Just a moment.
This is the first.
This is a first, yeah. Splash it on. Okay, if you just bend it a little bit, that's perfect. Good. And now Clive. Didn't need very much. And now Mike. A little bit up. Perfect. Thank you. And Michael. A little bit up. See? Good. Thank you. And over to Padmaloka.
Okay, Chris. Good. Exactly right.
Okay, and now comes the bestowal of the kesa. And it's when the kesa actually goes over their head, when it touches them, that they're fully ordained. And you probably noticed on the kesa, you've got the three jewels, the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, on the red letters of the heart, and it's surrounded by flames. And that shows that the Buddhist life is an active life, it's a dynamic life. It's about bringing positive qualities into being. So, first of all, Alex. And Clive. And Mike. And Michael. Great. Thank you. Over to Padmaloka. So now come some acceptance verses, and these acceptance verses are very important. They're sometimes known as the 4 vows, although they're not strictly vows, but they're very much the spirit in which ordination is taken and which it's received. And Padmaloka and I are going to recite that together, and you're going to answer in call and response. With loyalty to my teachers,
with loyalty loyalty to my teachers.
I accept this ordination
I accept this ordination
in harmony with friends and brethren.
in harmony with friends and brethren.
I accept this ordination
I accept this ordination
for the attainment of enlightenment.
for the attainment of enlightenment.
I accept this ordination
I accept this ordination
for the benefit of all beings.
for the benefit of all beings.
I accept this ordination.
I accept this ordination.
Just the blessings. Okay, good. Okay, so now we come to the moment that a lot of people have been waiting for. These men were privately ordained on Monday night, and they were given a new name, symbolising rebirth, spiritual rebirth, birth into a new life. And in a sense, the name is what they really are. And that's been kept private between themselves and their private preceptor up until this point. But now we're all going to hear who these new beings have become. So we're going to do it in order of seniority. And I'm going to ask the private preceptor and the ordinand to stand up. Maybe the private preceptor could come to the front, perhaps here so we can see them in the camera, and tell us the new names of these men. So first of all, Mahashraddha, if you'd come up.
With pleasure.
Good. And could you tell us who Alex is?
I can tell you who Alex is. Alex, you look great in that case already. Thanks, Alex. So traditionally it is said that one of the greatest gifts that we can give to others is a gift of the Dharma, which is the Buddha's teachings. Now that's good, that's really good. But even better is that if that gift is given with confidence in that gift, and because people respond very, very, very well, very positively to confidence, so much so that they may take a good look at that gift that they've been given, in this case the gift of the Dharma. They may investigate it, even become inspired by it, even commit to it. And seeing the value of the gift they've been given, they themselves may then give that gift of the Dharma to others. And so it goes on and on. The passing of the gift of the Dharma from one person to another, from one generation to another, keeping alive the living transmission of the flame of the Dharma. And this ability to give confidence in the gift of the Dharma is therefore an incredibly important quality that a person can possess. If Buddhism is to survive as a living tradition, without this quality, Buddhism will just be relegated to the dusty pages of books in the library somewhere. So Alex has this ability and quality to communicate confidence in the Dharma in a steady, level-headed, down-to-earth, authentic manner. And I've witnessed people respond very positively to you, Alex, on account of this quality of yours. So Alex becomes Shraddhavadi, which means he who communicates confidence in the Dharma. Now Shraddhavadi, it's a dynamic name, because with Dharma practice you will be able to communicate the Dharma with ever deeper confidence to people and have even more effect than what you do already. And I just want to finish by saying that it's not just confidence in the Dharma Shraddhavadi communicates, it's confidence per se. In his company you feel reassured, you feel at ease that everything will be okay. So I am sure that Shraddhavadi's wife, Sheila, and their children, Paul, Daniel, Elizabeth and Francesca, have all experienced this. So Shraddhavadi, you will no doubt be an excellent and valuable addition to the order, to the Manchester Sangha, and to your beloved family. Sandhu. Shradavadi.
Thank you. And now, Donna Priya, if you come up and tell us who ex-Clive is.
So I'm so pleased to be introducing you all to this man, who he is, and who he's definitely going to become even more. We had a send-off for Alex Clive about 2 weeks ago at the Real Buddhist Group, and 27 people were rejoicing in him. And these were just some of the qualities that were said of him. That he's empathetic, he's a happy soul, such a joy to be around, generous of spirit, he's very kind, he has remarkable compassion in him, deep knowledge of the Dharma, shows marvellous compassion, altruistic, radiates good-naturedness, wants happiness for others, steps out of himself to another, and he makes people feel important to him. Therefore, it's no surprise that his name is Karunadara, Karunadara, he who is a bearer of compassion. So Karunadara has a big heart and is naturally loving and compassionate, and it is his way of being in the world. Compassion always comes from a person's own suffering, and Karunadara has had a high degree of suffering, particularly in his early life, and quite a bit in his later life, until he came across Triratna, which he talks about as saving him and healing him. Karunadara helps wherever he is able. June, an elderly member of the Deal Sangha, got to the point where she was unable to come to classes, and Karunadara decided off his own back to go to June's place each week to meditate with her. He's been doing this now every week for 3 years. That's just one example of how he has become Karunadara. Another example is that Karunadara has been a prison chaplain for 4 years, visiting 2, sometimes 3 prisons a week, and spending 3 hours in each. Recently he gave a talk at the Deal Sangha night about his experience of working in this way. There were so many stories that just showed that Clive's compassionate heart acting in the world. And it was wide open to people who many may find challenging. So it's my absolute pleasure to introduce Karunadara, he who is a bearer of compassion. I'm just going to spell it, because some of you might like to know how to spell it. So it's Karuna, Karuna, and then Dara, Dhara. Karunadara. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna Priya. And now, Harshaprabha, if you tell us who ex-Chris is.
As far as I can remember, Chris's key spiritual experiences have had and still have the element of space associated with them, which includes the myriad tones of the blue of the sky. This aspect brought the word space to my mind. Akasha primarily refers to the element of space, and thereby also to sky or air. In Buddhist terms, it is closely related to the idea of shunyata, or emptiness, and is used as a metaphor for the boundless, limitless nature of the awakened mind, and perhaps on a slightly less lofty level, to the qualities of openness, flexibility and universality. Chris has worked and still works on his heart, both physically and spiritually, and in doing so has experienced better physical health, as well as greater and greater ease of being with others, ease of communicating the Dharma, ease in understanding his own mind, and of course, greater ease with himself. This brought the word heart to mind. Hridaya means heart in both the literal and metaphorical sense. As in English, it can mean both the physical heart, the heart area of the body, the mind, and the seat of emotions and thoughts, as well as the essence or core of something. In fact, the word Hridaya is etymologically linked to the English words like cardiac, with the hrid being equivalent to the card. When you put these qualities, these deep and broad aspects of Chris together, they come together in his new name, his Buddhist name, Akasha Hridaya. Akasha Hridaya. The literal meaning of Akasha Hridaya is he whose heart is open like space. What this really means as a Buddhist name is he whose heart is open and limitless like the nature of the awakened mind. Welcome, Akasha Hridaya.
Thank you, Hoshprabha. And Buddha Shanti, would you say who Mike is now?
Well, Mike, it's been a great honour and privilege to be with you on this retreat and to privately ordain you. And it wasn't difficult for a name to come up for you. It came more or less quite naturally, really. I knew that there was a particular quality which you have, and which I see in all my encounters with you and the way I see you encountering with other people. You have a strong quality of humorous patience and strength and persistence. So I'm going to say what the name is now, and then I will give the reasons and explain what that quality is. Mike's new name is Kashanta Bandhu, which means he who is a patient friend. So patience is an essential quality in Buddhist practice. It's a quality which the aspiring bodhisattva must develop. It's one of the 6 perfections, and it's part of the enlightened mind, an essential quality in the spiritual path, in the Buddhist spiritual path. So Kashanti is the practice of patience, but being patient, it's not just in an abstract, it's actually being patient, he who is a patient friend. And being patient is not responding with anger, with ill will towards others. And it's sometimes translated as forbearance. And it's not getting irritated, annoyed, angry with any situation which life throws at us. So this is really a very tall order, not many of us can do this. We just have these reactions. But in Buddhist practice, we work gradually to change them. So I've just seen that Kashanta Bandhu has strong characteristics of patience. He too has become a prison visitor, and the process for doing that takes a really long time, and I remember him telling me what he had to do and how long it was taking. And I was getting impatient for him, but he wasn't impatient at all. He was just doing it, and he became a prison visitor, and he's doing that now. So, and also another aspect of patience, which Prashanta Bandhu has, is a strong appreciation of the good qualities of others, of their kind actions and intentions. He just notices that. He was talking about his father during his life story, and he was saying how his father became very kind to his mother as she was ill. He just notices these characteristics, and that is really an essential part of being patient. And also, so that's the second one, noticing the kind actions of others. And the other one is, we need, in patience, we need confidence and faith. We need to be receptive to the Buddha's teachings, and we need to be open, receptive to his teaching, and so that can give us confidence. And Mike is just really open to that. He asks the right questions, and he absorbs it. He's got this quality of absorption, I think. And also, confidence and receptivity, you need humility, you need openness. And Prashanta Bandhu has that. You can see that. I'm not used his name yet. So all these are the qualities of patience. And Prashanta Bandhu is on the path to develop and deepen these qualities. So, Sadhu Prashanta Bandhu.
Thank you. And last but not least, Michael and Mahashraddha again.
Yes, Michael, that's the last time I used Michael. Yes. Doesn't he look good? He's so colour coordinated. White pacer against black clothes, including a black mask and yellow socks. Very good. So, ex-Michael, you have longed to enter the spiritual lineage of the Buddha through this ordination. You long to be in the presence of the words of the Sutra of Golden Light. And you are rarely apart from that Sutra of Golden Light. You carry it around with you wherever you go. So your name is taken from the very heart of the Sutra of Golden Light. From chapter 3, no less, which is about confession. Chapter 3 is purported to be the original text of the Sutta, which was then embellished with further chapters over the centuries. More specifically, ex-Michael's name is taken from verse 73 of chapter 3, which Triratna translates as follows. By means of this skillful act, confession, may I always be in the company of the Buddhas. May I abandon all evil actions and practice pure and skillful actions. So ex-Michael's name is Buddha Samagama, Buddha Samagama, which means he who is with the Buddhas. Now it could be said that his name is not of this world, which in a sense it is. It is not of this world, as it is taken deep within the Mahayana Sutras, which just flow with this vital spiritual energy of devotion and a commitment to the spiritual path. So being in the company of Buddhas is not something that one does just once. One does it again and again through the practice of, in the words of the Sutra of Golden Light, pure and skillful actions. So your name is a practice. It's a practice. And it's a demanding name. It is a demanding name. But you deserve no less. And I have every confidence that you can carry this name. If anybody can, you can. And one day I hope that you will fully become Buddha Samagama, through which the light of the Sutra of Golden Light shines forth into this world, and boy does it need it. So, Buddha Samagama.
Thank you. Good, very good. So, wonderful names, beautiful, rich names, incredible, all those qualities entering the order and manifesting in the world. So, that's all very auspicious, and there are all sorts of blessings flowing down on this event. And just to mark that, Padmavajra are going to recite some verses of blessings, and then you'll all respond with 3 hearty sadhus, and then Padmavajra and I will leave, and the rest of us can leave also, and we'll just leave the new order members sitting there, just assimilating for a few minutes what's happened, and then they'll come and join us, and we'll have the photographs and so on. Good.
Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakkantu sabba devata sabba buddhanu bhavena sada suti bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakkantu sabba devata sabba dhammanu bhavena sada suti bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakkantu sabba devata sabba sanghanu bhavena sada suti bhavantu te.